Having a childcare drop-off issue, and it's going to be a few minutes late, and John is supposed to be here, but... So we have a quorum, and I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:04 p.m., and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sit down, just gotta get right back up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I want to welcome our newest member, Suzanne Tirado. Thank you for joining us today. Your first meeting. So if you have any questions, you can certainly ask. The first order of business is for us to go into executive session. We wanted to front load it at the beginning of the agenda because of the Board of Finance meeting tonight. There may be some need for some people to start stepping out to go over to the Board of Finance, depending on how long this meeting goes. And so I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing a matter concerning student assignment.
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded, made by Paul, seconded by Jaime. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so we will have to ask the staff to leave and the television to go off.
Make sure you turn it off, Brenda. Turn it off, too. This is on.
Okay, we need the mics off.
Yeah, we need the mics off.
I think we have to do them one by one. February 14th.
We can do them as a package.
I think we can do them
We
as a
can
group.
do them as
I'll
a
make a
package?
motion to combine
Okay.
them. I need a second.
Second.
Motion made to
That works.
combine approval of the minutes.
I did it.
Seconded, made by Tracy, seconded by Paul. Any discussion? No edits, no nothing? Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Mr. Sewell, Dr. Sewell did vote.
Okay,
Suzanne abstained.
yes.
This is on the motion
For all of them.
All of them, yes.
or to approve or
No, that was to
A
combine
through
them.
F.
Combine them.
Combine them.
Yes, okay. So now we're voting on them all, right? Okay. And if there's one you weren't at, you should probably say you weren't there for one of them, I guess. 'Cause you usually have to abstain from voting for minutes that meetings you're not at. So there's a motion on the floor to approve 1 to 6 sets of minutes. Who wants to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that item 4A through F, approval of Board of Education meeting minutes, that we take them as a package and approve them as defined.
Do we hear a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Ilda. Any discussion? All those in favor of the package? Opposed? Abstentions? 3 abstentions. Okay. Thank you. Public comment. Is there anybody who's signed up to speak under public comment?
No.
No, the list is blank when I got.
The list is blank. Okay. So we're on to reports. Dr. Garcia?
Yeah, I would like to start with a recognition, and I don't know if the wrestling team is here. The wrestling team is here? No?
They'd like a few more minutes. They're gathering.
They gather themselves. So let me take this opportunity to welcome the intern from Eastern. I know that there are a couple interns in the social work program that are here from Eastern. Yeah, if you just let us know who you are. All of you guys, yeah.
Welcome.
And they're part of a course called Community Organization, a community, yeah, and so they're here to observe the board meeting. So welcome to all of you. And not only that, some of them are interning in our schools, some of them are helping us with the budget. So we see them in the PCU on Saturday. Some of you guys were there, so thank you for participating and helping us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
So I don't have Coach Thompson is here? No?
Not yet.
And what about Alex? Alex Girl.
Korzinski's
Alex is
walking
here?
in. No, he's not here.
Nell's not here yet?
Superintendent Garcia,
Alex.
They're
Oh,
just
Alex.
left Ledyard,
Al.
so Coach
Oh.
Thompson
That's why I was
and
fortunate.
Alex are on the bus coming back, so we may end up doing them at the end.
At the end. But the
But
wrestling team is
The
here.
wrestling team is gathering, they'll come in when they have
Okay,
a
let's
critical
just hold on
mass,
that and move on to the
and Coach
next
Valier. So-
Okay, so we just move on. We'll just move on. When they come in, we'll continue with that. Okay? So we'll leave the recognition for later. You also have the high school,
Program and study.
they have some information regarding the Barrows Lottery. And again, just for your information to read it, EastCon took the process from beginning to end. We have 516 applicants, and 389 were from the Windham area and 127 from out-of-district lottery. EastCon is sending out the notification to the parents, and they're giving us, will provide us with a list of the notification and who accepted.
How many come in? All of them?
I don't know yet till they get their
So
from out-
that's 127 for kindergarten
for kindergarten.
from out of district.
Out of
So
district.
for 60 slots, there were 127.
Actually, it's out-of-district.
Oh, actually, there's 20 slots.
20 slots, right.
Yeah,
Be 20 slots.
127 applications, good.
The Compañeros Lottery also took place on April the 3rd, and the information is due back on April 14th. So we're waiting for that information. And here you have the numbers of how many applied. 16 students being out for slot, but we had 24 students that are in different grades for pre-K, pre-K4, and pre-K3. Some information about summer school. Because of the snow days, our school, we have a very short summer school this year. School is going to go till the 22nd of June for all the school except for Barrows, that will go till the 25th of June. So summer school is starting July the 2nd until July 31st. Summer school K through 3 will take place at Barrows. Usually we have about 350 kids K through 3. We also having a algebra camp for 7th graders went into 8th graders at the middle school. We also having credit recovery at the high school, and the ACO students will be taking 2 college courses with QBCC this summer. That way they can earn at least 2 6th credit. This already took place, but I thought you would like to know the information that of the community forum that went very well. Recently, we put up some question and answers on the web page, on the web.
Community forum on school safety.
The community
just for
forum on school
listeners.
safety, thank you. Okay, so we put up the responses on the web so people have the opportunity to take a look at how the district is responding. And I do want to say that based on the community forum and safety and whatever the protocols, yesterday when we had an issue in the schools responded very well and very efficiently. And we received a lot of calls from parents that said that things were handled very well. Thank you for that. You have a high school program of studies, and as you can see, there are some new classes that are included in there. The one that I want to highlight is the courses that will be partnering with Eastern. We have 2 new courses that the high school will be partnering with Eastern. One is Foundation of U.S. Education, and these are for students that we have at the high school that want to go into the teaching profession. We're hoping that we can grow our own, and we're hoping to get more students interested in teaching. So this will be a course in the School of Education that will be offered here at the high school through Eastern. And we also have another one, Introduction to Health Science, also that will be offered through Eastern. So we're very happy.
Dr.
And then-
Garcia,
yeah.
may I ask a question? When I was looking at the programs and studies, I noticed there was a enriched amount of business courses that are being offered. Have we looked at the opportunity to bring DECA back? Because DECA was hugely popular, like ending somewhat when my oldest was leaving, when Mr. Kwame, who used to sit on the Board of Ed, was a student here. DECA was hugely popular, brought in a lot of kids from Columbia and stuff like that, and it was disbanded by Dr. Adamowski. We were told it didn't fit our curriculum, blah, 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 blah. And I think that if we're going to look into advanced manufacturing and business courses and stuff like that, that having a leadership program like DECA might be something worthwhile.
So-
I know we still have all the equipment right across the hall in that room that's quickly filling up with clutter. So.
Yeah, so there been a lot of conversation about that. In the past, we couldn't do it because we didn't have anyone that was certified in business to teach. We do have Dr. Sanchez that does have a degree in economics, so we do have one now that can teach. But in the past, with us, they didn't have anyone, we couldn't find anyone, but now we do have someone on staff that can teach, so that's why we have the business courses that we
Right,
have.
so can we look into bringing DECA back?
Definitely.
Okay,
There have been
thank you.
conversation about that.
Thank you.
Wonderful, that's great. Because like Tracy, I remember when that was
When DECA
in
was here, it was a
place.
really
Yeah,
vibrant
yeah.
group of kids who went out and won all kinds of accolades and stuff like that, and now we've lost another one of our shining star programs. So-
And so I do want to say that the popularity of the business courses, that students are drawn to those courses, and those courses, I believe 2 of them are ECE courses, meaning they're college courses.
Nope.
Oh, I don't want to touch it, Dr. Sewell, I don't want to touch it, I already went through this with you, I know. But
Microeconomics, maybe.
there are QECC courses there, not UConn, they're QECC, so I'm gonna leave it there. Don't want to go back to that
Not
discussion.
business courses.
Okay, so those are a little bit update of the move, the Kramer move. So we have People Services, we have Human Resources, Family and Community Partnership, and Information Technology. And next week, the Office of the Assistant Superintendent and the Superintendent will be moving. And so the move is coming along very,
So as of what date should people not show up at the Kramer School to see?
I think by the end of April, I think we'll be gone. But we will notify.
You will be, administration will be
Yeah,
gone.
yeah. Yeah, April,
What
May,
area?
yeah.
Where will you be?
Back there.
Back over there in the little corner, all the way in the back,
Over where?
yeah.
You have to go in the side.
Yes, there's a side entrance. You don't have to come in the front entrance of the high school.
Yeah. So we will notify the board. We have a timeline, but the only person running behind the timeline is me, meaning I have not packed yet. So I think I will be there, be the only one to be there for a couple of days when everybody's gone, but we will let you guys know when we ready to move. Some initiative that I'm very proud of is the Relay Graduate School of Education. As you know, obtaining teachers, certified teachers, particularly in some areas like math, is very difficult. The Relay Graduate School of Education is an alternative road to certification. It's not the traditional master in UConn or Eastern. It's where they recruit people already with degrees that want to become teachers. And so they partner with school district. This year it's open. They have 85 slots or seats, and so they're having teachers from urban districts such as Hartford, Middletown, Waterbury, East Hartford, and we are partnering with them. We're giving 3 slots. We have about 18 people that came up to the first session, the information session. So we expect to at least send 3 of our tutors or parents that already have degree that want to become teachers. And we're trying to find people that want to do math or science. So that's the information, and that's the recognition, but I don't see the wrestling team here yet.
So can we do any of the recognitions?
So who is here? Mr. Thompson is not here, Alex is not here. I think the wrestling team, could you tell them to come in? Yes. They're coming in, okay. So let's do the wrestling
Well,
team.
let's just wait till they come in.
Yeah, and Alex is on the way. And Coach Ken Valier.
Valier's here.
Valier, Coach, where's Coach?
He's here.
Right here.
Okay. How do I pronounce that name?
Valier.
Valier. Okay, so we can do Coach Valier is here. Not Valier.
No,
So we're
Valier.
debating Valier or Valier?
Valier.
I like the Valier, I like the French little.
It is
It is French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can start with that.
So let's start with Coach Valier. Okay? Windham is honored to have the girls' basketball coach, Coach Ken Valier,
Come on up.
named this year Outstanding Coach of the Year by the Connecticut High School Coaches Association. Coach Ken Valier has coached in the district for over 25 years. As head varsity basketball coach, Ken's teams have won 2 state championships, wow, and several league titles. Ken has coached numerous players who have achieved all-state status. Coach Valier set the bar high for all his players, off the court and in the court. He expects his players to excel in the classroom and behave appropriately during the school day. He has well-developed practice plan and demands excellent work ethics for his players, in addition to good grades. In addition to coaching varsity girls basketball coach, Ken served as the head varsity softball coach, junior varsity girls soccer coach, and previously served as the head varsity baseball coach for 18 years. Thank you, Coach Valier, for setting high standard for our program, and congratulations for receiving this wonderful recognition.
I think that's the wrestling team. Yeah, they look like it.
think your wrestling team just came
You
in.
don't need to sit, gentlemen, you can stand right there, we'll need you in a moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Kenny.
Wow.
So I'm going to have Mr. Arbitrary.
You need a mic.
The entire Board of Education we're so proud of you, of your effort and your accomplishment. And so we all want to shake your hand tonight. So because of that, I want to have one of my colleagues read your names and your congratulations to you, and we'll give you the plaque. So boys, your superintendent is so proud of your hard work, your effort, and all your accomplishment. And I know that when you went to Rhode Island, to Providence, you represented our district with high honor. So thank you for that.
Congratulations to the Windham High School wrestling team for winning the Class S championship this winter. Under the leadership of head coach Patrick Risley, our wrestling team has won titles in 5 of the past 6 years. Let me introduce the 2017-2018 Windham varsity wrestling team: Elijah Vertife, Alejandro Garcia,
He's coming back from a track meet.
okay, Kevin Fantoli, Sebastian Stoltz, Luis Rodriguez,
He just finished up baseball. He never made it. We got multi-sport athletes.
multi-sport athletes are great. Daniel Castro, Marcos Rodriguez,
On the track bus.
Jose Madeira, Jose Candia, Eddie Torres,
Nope, he's not there.
He wrapped up baseball. He was supposed to come.
Angel of Averos,
He had to work. He told me
Alec Martinez,
baseball.
Christopher Rosario, Jaden Malabe, and the coaches we'd like to thank: head coach Pat Risley, assistant coach Mike Haggerty.
He's actually working tonight. He
Okay.
got called in. No, well, we have a couple volunteer assistants. I don't know if I put those names on the list.
Volunteer coaches Sebastian,
Sebastian's,
Rufino?
Rufino,
Graham,
and Jesse
Jesse Cal.
Callett.
And then we have a couple of our young, fine JV wrestlers and stuff like that. We got Angel Carrera.
Angel Carrera,
Eric Genova.
Eric Granola. Congratulations to you all. We are proud of such consistent record in this sport. Gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight, and we appreciate all your hard work, both in the season and also out of season, and continue to do well in school.
Thank you.
I guess we have to wait, the others aren't here yet.
The other recognition, when the track team comes back, we can take care of it.
Yeah, Alex is not here, so I'm going to do it.
Yep, yep, the James Thompson like that. Okay, yep, thank you. All right, guys. Come over down.
Thank you.
So we can now go to.
Okay, we'll go to committee reports then. Finance and Audit Committee, is there anything you want to share with us?
Well, the Board of Finance is meeting tonight to consider the Board of Education's budget request, and that's why we met at 6 o'clock, and as soon as we're able, several of us, if not all of us, will go to the Board of Finance meeting to answer any questions that they may have about the budget.
Right, I did communicate with the Chair of the Board of Finance earlier this week, and he assured me that, I told him we were starting early so that some of us could get over there, and he said that they were starting with a discussion with the Director of Economic Development, and then going to be talking about the town budget, and then they would get to the Board of Ed budget. So I think if we're heading over there around 7:30, 7:45, we should be fine. Yes, yeah. And Dr. Garcia is going to leave earlier, just so she's there by 7:30 or so. The School Planning and Design Committee, nothing has been happening.
No, nothing. Nothing ever happens with SPND. Our most recent meeting was this past Thursday. And again, the committee meets first Thursday of every single month. Please come. The agenda conversation, again, the high school renovation project is a large part of what we are doing and will continue to do over the next few years, even though the building committee has been assigned and they'll be doing the lion's share of the work. There will always be some component of the project that the district will be intimately involved in, cultural, social, committees, something. Out of this past meeting, we asked a couple of consultants from CREC, Capital Region Education Council, to help us with perspective concerning what we believe is, or many of us believe, is a disparity in the difference between our referendum question, which was passed concerning the project cost, projected project cost, and that work had been done over a period of about 5 or 6 years. And it's very formulaic. You can't know ahead of time what a building is going to, of this complexity project is going to cost until you actually begin formulating how you're going to go about doing it. You have to hire consultants and engineers and architects and the like. That's why there's formula to give you a rough idea that you take to Department of Administrative Services Construction Division. And they set those policies and those numbers and formulas for districts and their consultants to use to develop that number that goes to bond. The conversation right after our referendum passed for the renovation project this past November, and there was a subsequent meeting between the district and DAS, seemed, at least to us, to fly in the face of the history of the process, which was, again, formula, outcome, and then a conversation about the when, what, where, when, and how. And it was very confusing process because every consultant that we've spoken to, engineers, project managers, and the like in the industry, tell us that it was a bit off. Every other school on the bonding list has either gotten a little bit more money for their projects or has taken a tiny penalty, and tiny by that I mean in the face of the total cost of their project. We, on the other hand, have taken a very large hit, even in the face of an accepted $43 million cost share that the district was willing to take in the bond over time so that we could retain the flavor of this facility. Pool, 2 gyms, large cafeteria, a beautiful auditorium. And so coming up, the 16th of this month, which is the normal meeting time for the school building committee, which is not part of the district, it's part of the town. A representative from Department of Administrative Services, which is very unusual, is going to be coming out to have a conversation with us concerning what we believe is a problem, and we're going to be asking them very gently and professionally about their process and how they came to cap our project, which is very unusual language, I've come to learn. And we will see where we are at that point, and we will report back to the district about that. And not unusually, school planning and design has parallel paths. We have many things going on at the same time. And the conversation concerning compañeros and it being K-8 and having its own facility, how, what, where, and when. Of course, things are always in flux, and we're moving out of Kramer, and we're moving here, and we're moving there, and things are happening constantly. So school planning and design is part of that shuffle, if you will. Compañeros certainly is not a dead issue. It is one that is still in the design and planning phase. I think a couple of things we know is that we're clear that we want it to be, at this point, K-8 in a single facility as a separate school. So that's where we are right now. And the district is working on some things to help us understand the K-8 process, and we will have more to report in a month.
Are there any questions? Okay, the meeting of the building committee for the high school is with DAS is on Monday night, the 16th.
Monday night, the 16th.
At what time?
At 7 p.m. in this room.
Okay,
Here.
thank you.
And again, it's the building committee for the renovation project.
Right.
Which was assigned by the town council.
Thank you.
They meet the first and third Monday of every month here in this room.
At 7 p.m.
That's it.
The
Okay.
district has 2 members on that 7-person committee. Well, it's a 9-person committee, myself and Mrs. Lambert.
Thank you, thank you. Policy committee, is there anything to report?
No, because we have not met.
We are going to start, hopefully, we have a new member of the committee now, Susie Tirado, and I'm going to be I've appointed Ilda as the chair, so hopefully we can start on a better track with 3 members. You guys can get going, so thank you. I want to say, this is no judgment being passed, because certainly the executive committee hasn't met recently either. So we're meeting this Thursday evening at, what?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. If anybody wants to join us there. We're going to be talking about the superintendent's evaluation form. Okay, any questions?
I'm going to speak up, I'm sorry, this may be out of place, and I think Mrs. Ray is a wonderful person. I've worked with her on lots of projects, but I'm wondering what the impetus was, and I know it's your purview, for choosing her as chair of this committee. Ms. Lasardis sat on this committee for longer and has worked hard, and I have been at a couple meetings, and Ms. Ray has been unable to attend, and she's brand new to the Board of Ed in November, and I mean you absolutely no disrespect, Ilda, but I'm wondering why we put a new person who has little experience as the chair of a committee over someone who has more experience. And I'm reticent to say this, I've sat as chair and I know how these things work, but it seems very partisan to me. I'm sorry to have to say that in a meeting like this.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, it is partisan.
And that should
The
stop at the
Democrats
door after the election.
do have control of this board as far as seats go, and one of the things we work very hard as a party to do is to be able to have leadership positions on the boards that we serve on.
Okay, so we're picking partisanship over experience. Let's be very clear on this right now.
In this particular case, yes, but that does not mean that Ilda Ray does not have extensive experience as a parent and as a volunteer and understanding policy, and I would hope that all the members of the committee would work together.
It's not about you, Ilda. I hope you understand that.
I understand that.
But I'm sorry, I had to say that. I think that's a sad state of affairs. When I was chair of the Board of Ed, and I know I'm not right now, I picked the best person for the job, no matter their party. But thank you.
Thank you
I'm glad we have
for,
clarification on that.
I always value people speaking up.
Excuse me?
Yes,
I'm
John.
going to say the same thing. It's a shame that it's gotten to this point, and that's why this country is the way it is. It's gotten to this level. And I'll go back to when I was chair of the Board of Finance back a century ago. I made sure my vice chair, who was the hardest worker, had the most experience, was a Republican when I was a high-ranking Democrat back then. You do what's best for the community, not for the party.
And I wasn't going to say anything, but I think this is, if we're going to get into the politics of it, this is why I'm part of the Bottom Line Party, is for this exact reason. It's because it's a group of people, Republicans, Democrats. I am a Democrat, but because I am not a Democrat on this town committee, I cannot be the chair of the policy committee, even though I have more experience. So I'm just really disappointed in that decision, so.
I'm sorry that you feel that way. That's a decision that I've made, and that's the prerogative that I have as the chair. And I hope that people can work together on the committees, which they've shown evidence that they can do that, and I believe you all will be able to. Thank you. I think it might be getting about time for that you're going to exit.
Yeah, I'm going to exit.
How are we going to be handling the awards?
So I'm going to leave them with you. I still have Alex, and I have Coach Thompson. So I'm going to leave them with you. And I believe their awards are up there with Janet.
Okay.
And please excuse me, I have to go and answer questions to the Board of Finance regarding our budget. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Some of us will be joining you.
And I was
Yes, Murphy?
On the issue of subcommittee chairs, the function of a subcommittee chair is to make sure the meeting happens, to make sure there's an agenda, and to run the meeting. Other than that, there's no more influence being a chair of a subcommittee than being any other member of the board. And any member of the board can attend any of the subcommittee members and participate. The chairman doesn't have any particular, at the subcommittee level, even the agenda is whatever people on the board want to put on the agenda. So it's not an influential position in terms of difference between the chair and the member, except that the chair is responsible for making sure the meeting happens.
Yes, Melissa?
So we're not going to go back and forth, but if then that's the case, then why was this decision made the way it was? I don't want an answer, I'm just saying.
It's the same reason I'm an alternate on the building committee.
Okay. I think everybody's made their points. There's clearly disagreement on the committee, on the board about this issue. And I'm happy to talk to any of you after this meeting too, but the decision's been made. Thank you. We have some action items. We're on to item number 7 on the agenda, which is the recommended item A, which is the recommended approval of the revision of the board policy, conduct of board business. We've all had this. Is there anybody who would like to make a motion?
Move we approve the revision of board policy 9325, conduct of board business.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Now we can open for discussion. Is there anybody on the policy committee who would like to explain this for the people listening?
I think it just gives the public a little more freedom that you don't just have to speak on action items. You can come to speak to us whatever you'd like to speak about. So you're no longer limited to just action items. We did include in there a little statement about, respectfully addressing the board and, not addressing school staff members or the board by name. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and a little memo just reminding people to, if you have complaints, to go through the chain of command first. That's the easiest way to get things accomplished before you come directly to us. So that's it.
Any other questions or comments about that?
Well, I looked at this. I would like to note that the comments are still. What it says is that the board may permit individuals or group to address the board concerning any subject that lies within the jurisdiction, within its jurisdiction. So at least technically, comments ought to have something to do with either our policies or the implementation of our policies. And so if people want to ask about the location of a school bus stop or the assignment of a teacher, that should be directed to the administration. It's not a board function. I understand, though, that people want, if people are polite and want us to say something for 3 minutes, that as long as it's not going to take hours and hours of 20 people trying to complain about how a school teacher's assigned, that we don't really have a problem listening to it.
Okay, so, may I speak?
It's the chair's discretion as to how much of that we...
Absolutely, and the policy committee kind of went over that word of jurisdiction. The public does not know what lies within our jurisdiction. Like, that word to the average person, they don't know. So either we're going to define it, or we're just going to let people speak for 3 minutes and hear them out. And if they need to be redirected, I think that, I don't have it in front of me right now, but there's a little statement in there that
The appropriate redirection,
people will
suggestion can be
redirect you.
made.
Right, so we're not ignoring you. You'll be redirected.
I think the spirit of the policy, if I may, was that people get heard and that nobody gets turned away, and then they will be redirected to the proper channels after that point.
Any other comments? That's very much what we did on the other boards in town, which is allow people. But I know it's different when you're at the Board of Ed, Murphy, but I think we need to, I agree with this policy. I think it's a good policy. Thank you.
The policy also says 5 minutes. So are we going to go with that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
5 minutes is okay if that's what everybody wants to go with, but that's what it says, so.
Sure.
So we've been allowing 3, but probably as if the policy apparently has said 5 all along, so we should allow for 5.
Any further discussion before we take a vote? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? You're going to abstain? Okay. Thank you. Recommended approval of the healthy food certification, that's in our packet. Anybody want to make a motion? Everybody's being
jump at
quiet.
once.
Anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Paul. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. This is a pretty pro forma thing. Any discussion?
This is a good program.
Mm-hmm.
We do as good or better job of feeding our students than any of the surrounding districts. In fact, some of the surrounding districts are jealous of our program, so. And this is one of the reasons why we're successful.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And then C, which is recommended approval of an increase in tuition for the Charles H. Barrows STEM Academy from $4,600 to $4,850. This was based on the discussions that we had in the context of the budget discussions that we had leading up to proposing a budget to the Board of Finance. Does anybody have anything they want to say about this? Oh, I need a motion. Sorry. Anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion, we accept the tuition reimbursement.
No, the tuition
sorry.
increase.
The tuition increase.
Is there a second? Second. Motion has been made. Second. Any discussion? Murphy?
I did the math on this. Right now, we have students from K to 8. We have up to 66 per class, counting the 60 from the lottery plus the possibility of 6. Staff approved. So the maximum number of students that we could enroll at Barrows at this point is 594, and 175,000 divided by 594 works out to $294 and change. It seems to me that even though none of the surrounding districts are particularly wealthy, neither are we, and we're in effect, subsidizing, sending towns with this. So the increase really ought to be $300 rather than $250. So I'd like to amend the motion to raise the tuition from $4,600 to $4,900.
So Murphy's made would like to amend it?
I'm moving to amend the
Moving to
motion
amend
to
it to-
change it from 250 to 300.
I have a question. Could you go over the rationale?
Well, I need a second on it first before we can continue to discuss it. Does anybody want to make a second for the purpose of discussion at the very least?
Second.
Okay, second by Paul for the purpose of discussion. Okay, now you can ask your question.
Okay. What is the rationale for the
Okay, so
increment?
the state has cut back the grant by $175,000.
Mhm.
Okay? So we're raising the tuition to make up the $175,000. There's a maximum, actually, there's a few less than 594 students there, so we're not going to get the whole 175,000 anyway. But on a per-student basis, it works out to $294.61. Okay, which is roughly $300. So if we only raise it by 250, we're essentially subsidizing
$50.
200 sending students by about $50 apiece. Almost $50 apiece. I don't think that that's really justified. We have to pay it for the Windham, we have to pay the $295 for the Windham students, and I think the sending students ought to pay the same thing.
Any further discussion on the motion that's on the floor?
I can't argue with the logic.
Did Ilda amend her initial motion?
No, I made a motion to amend the original motion. That's what we'll have to.
We're talking
the vote is
about
to
the
vote on
amendment. So what we would be voting on next would be to amend the tuition increase by $50, right, to $4,900,
Yeah.
from $4,600 to $4,900.
That makes sense. Like you said, you can't disagree with logic.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the amendment on the floor to make the increase from $4,600, to make it an increase of $300 rather than $250? It's unanimous. Okay, so we have the amended motion, and so now we need to vote on the motion that's on the floor to increase the tuition.
So moved.
We have.
Well, we have that on the floor,
Oh, sorry, we
yes.
have. Sorry.
Any further discussion on it? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. And then we have recommended approval of the personnel recommendations. Those were all sent to us in the packet. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I don't see it in the package.
Very last page of your packet.
It should be the last thing.
Actually, the only thing I got was the agenda. I downloaded
I
the
got
packet.
the
I
agenda. I
downloaded
don't
the
have the
packet from the
package.
website.
You received the packet on Friday, you got the
Yeah.
amended agenda yesterday.
Yeah,
That's what I
Yes.
missed.
we did.
I downloaded the packet from the website, so it's missing the personnel recommendations.
Does anybody need to look at it who doesn't? It was just handed to you, Jaime. Jaime,
I got it.
okay. Do you need to look at it before?
Yeah, I'd like to.
I entertain a motion for it, though, while the two people who haven't seen it are looking at it. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the personnel recommendations?
I make a motion to approve the personnel recommendations.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Can you hand it over, sir?
We have discussion?
Yes, I'm going to open it up for discussion.
I'm wondering why we are accepting the resignation of a St. Mary's St. Joseph School employee.
Is there anybody from the administration who can explain that to us?
Could you repeat that, please?
I am asking why on the recommendation, on resignations, we are accepting the resignation of an employee from St. Mary's St. Joseph School.
If not, Windham employees.
I don't know.
Oh, Dawn.
You're not supposed to mention employee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Is there
It's a
anybody
public
from the
document after
administration who
tonight,
can
but-
explain that? No, there's nobody present who can explain that. Would you like that?
Ms. Crowe might be able to explain it.
Thank you.
Elder, can I see that, please? So that Ms. Kroll can look at it.
That is curious.
So I've just been informed that the employee is a Title I employee, so it's paid through a grant from the district.
Oh, from this district?
Correct. So that's why. Does that answer your question?
Yep, no, that's fine, thank you.
Okay.
And the other thing I'd like to say is that I'd like to wish Kim Began a wonderful retirement. She has been a longtime art teacher here in the district and has taught all of my children, and her absence will be missed. And I'm sure that means there's going to be a vacancy in the teachers' union, because she is president of the teachers' union as well. So I hope they choose wisely for their next leader.
Anything else? Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the floor?
Thank you for your answer, Mr. Capone.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Thank you. So I'm told that the bus is like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes away. I don't know whether they'll make it in time. Is there anybody who would like to speak during public comment? Okay, what is your pleasure? We could recess for a few minutes.
We have someone.
Yes, public comment? Al, you want to come up? Yes, you could.
My son is the person we're waiting for, so I'm just going to drag this out.
Okay. So introduce yourself for the record. You know how to do this.
Al Korzinski, Willamette, Connecticut. I actually just want to comment on the public comment policy that Mrs. Lassard just kind of explained to us. It is pretty clear that the restrictions of comments at the Board of Ed have, for lack of a better way to say it, pissed people off. I don't know any other way to say it. So the fact that you guys have addressed that and allowed folks to come up here for whether it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever you guys decide on, I think is a great idea. And the reason I think this is important is because as someone who has been part of getting budgets to people get excited about, or different things that are going around in the district on our page, Voices and Volunteers, the last thing we need when you're trying to get some of these things done is people to believe that their voice is not heard or they're limited to an action item that they don't understand anyway. So I think the fact that you guys are address that is a big deal. And as it relates to the building committees and the SPDs, I don't know if I know there's a section on the website where people can go to find these meetings, and I wonder if it's possible to make them even, I don't know what the policies are, but make them even more public. I don't know if that comes through, if the district, if we post those, I don't know if those go on Twitter and our website, but I think that would be helpful. And other than that, I think that's it. I hope that our Board of Ed can continue to show a positive light when they're doing these meetings, and remember what happened a couple of years ago when it did not happen, what happens when we go to vote at budget time, how vital what you guys do at these meetings is. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to speak during public comment while we're waiting for the awardees to come in here? Yes, go right ahead. We have one of the students. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Rachel, you need to say your name and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Rachel Runkle. I'm from Lebanon, but I go to Eastern Connecticut State. And we're all juniors from the social work program. And we just wanted to let you guys know that our group from the community organization class is putting on a career day at North Windham Elementary School on Friday, this Friday, from, we're asking if you want to volunteer, get there at 8:30, and it's going to go till about 12:30, but right now we have around 13 people showing off their careers to the 3rd and 4th graders, so we're hoping it's really going to get the students motivated for college and get them interested in furthering their education. So we just want to let you guys know about it. We've put in a lot of work on it over the semester.
So when you say, I know we're not supposed to talk back and forth, but I'm going to ask you a question. When you say volunteers to talk about their careers?
Yeah, if you wanted to, or we also need volunteers to lead the children around from table to table. So either one, we're just letting the public know about it.
Should the people just speak to you after this meeting?
Yeah, if they're interested. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ide, may I say something?
Yes.
I just wanted to mention tonight, and I'm sure that this affects the people sitting behind me, and I'm not going to make eye contact. The North Windham School recently lost an intern social worker.
Yes.
TJ Madden. I had met him a couple of times. He was a wonderful, bright young man. And is a huge loss to their community. And I want to send my condolences.
Would you like to have a moment of silence in his
I think
memory?
that would have been appropriate, yeah.
Yes. Okay, well, we're going to have a moment of silence then. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Tracy. It was pretty shocking news for a lot of people in the community. Okay, so we're here now, and we can do the last couple of awards. Coach Thompson, you want to come forward? You can come stand right here up front. Thanks. Mr. Thompson, James Thompson, this evening we would like to recognize the girls' track coach, who has been selected as Outstanding Coach of the Year by the Connecticut High School Coaches Association. Coach James Thompson has coached in the district for the past 20 years and oversees the Windham Middle School athletic program. Mr. Thompson has coached several league championships and numerous individual track athletes who have placed at the divisional, state open, and New England championships. Coach Thompson has volunteered and served as the Robert Haddad Windham Cross Country Meet Director for the past 10 years. This spring will be James's 20th year as head girls outdoor track coach, and he has also served as the head field hockey coach. He has worked as assistant coach for indoor track, cross country, and volleyball, and has been cross country coach at Windham Middle School. We are honored to have Coach Thompson as part of our coaching staff, working with our young athletes at all levels. We are also very proud that James is being recognized as the CHSCA Girls Outdoor Track Outstanding Coach of the Year. Thank you very much. We have an award for you.
Congratulations. You want to hold it up? Thank you. Okay. Oops. I have to put my glasses on. We have one final award for the evening. Alex, you want to come up? And your parents may come up with you too if they would like to. It's up to them. And and I'm being coached along, and the coach too, so come on. So, Alex, we would like to recognize you as an outstanding senior athlete, and you've proudly represented Windham High School by placing first in the 1,600-meter run at the State Open Indoor Track Competition held in New Haven. This win tops an already outstanding season for Alex.
Alex was featured in the sports section in the Sunday Hartford Current on February 4th. At that time, the Current summarized that he was seated first in the state in the 1,000-meter, 1,600-meter, the mile, and the 3,200 meter. He is also ranked 5th nationally in the 1,600 meter, 7th in the mile, and 7th in the 3,200 meter.
7th in the mile.
As a junior, Alex also won the 1,600 at the Class S Championships and at the State Open, and took second in the state in the 3,200. In the New England High School Indoor Championships, he placed 6th in the mile, putting up his best time of the season. He also took first place in the Connecticut steeplechase. It is no wonder that colleges have courted Alex, and he signed his letter of intent to attend Northeastern University in Boston, where he intends to study mechanical engineering. All of this accomplished, and we know the spring season is still yet to come. Congratulations, Alex Korzinski.
I'll get everybody in the picture.
And then you could step in again, please, Mrs. I. One more. Thank you.
Annie's featured on the cover of the sports section of yesterday's Chronicle.
Hey, Alex, what was your mile time? Alex, what was your mile time?
4:14.14. Hey, Al, I bet you
I'm still putting my sneakers on at that point. Wait, the race is over?
So that concludes our business for the evening. I just was reminded, I meant to ask Tracy when she came in. I guess the trip to Germany, they all arrived safely, and so that's great news. And when do we expect them? How long will they be there, Tracy?
They'll be back on the 24th in the evening, God willing, and the creeks don't rise. But we had an uneventful flight out, and Andrew was amazed at the size of the intercontinental plane, the Airbus, and because he's flown only a few times domestically, so he was amazed by that. But they all behaved fairly well, and Dr. Bonnell and Ms. McLeavy, I think I have that right, she's a language teacher here, and Ms. Bonnell is a teacher here as well, are grateful that they all landed there. We got an email from their sponsoring advisor saying they were there okay, so everybody seems happy, and they're tired now. Because when they arrived, it was 1 o'clock in the morning our time, which is 7 in the morning, and they went directly to school. So they're a little tired.
Jet-lagged, yeah.
But they're sleeping now.
Great. Well, with that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 7:50. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.